Welcome back to back live sessions today. Cause it's been a busy week, so I'd organized some lives and I had to rearrange them, and we're here again. And this time we're going to go live with a fitness trainer who advises, consults individuals, I think at the young age, but also the age above 40, in terms of how to go about and manage their fitness, manage their health, manage their life, and keep a healthy life. So we're going to be joining Paul Almeida, who should be waiting for us. So let's just send this to Functional Fitness Over 40 is his user ID. So anyone got any questions regarding fitness, health, put them in here. It'll be good to ask Paul those questions. Sorry, we're just waiting for the gentleman to arrive. Should be here shortly. Are you the one that designs the houses? Well, I do have a team that does all the design work as well. So, I mean, if you're looking for an interior designer, I can help you out on that. So we're here with Paul Almeida. Super. Anyone got any fitness questions? Put them in here. Hey, Paul Almeida.
Hi, how are you?
You doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. All is well. Thank you so much for coming on here. I know we'd scheduled a few times and we
Yeah.
canceled a few times, so I apologize for the inconvenience, but we are here today. We're going to be discussing all about what you do in the health and fitness industry, where you consult over 40s to how to keep their health and life fit so they can
Yes,
earn the wealth, right? Otherwise, there's no
exactly.
point. Super.
Exactly.
So, Paul, thank you so much for joining me on the mission in terms of sharing the knowledge and what you do. It's good to have you here. Before we get the conversation starting, if you can introduce yourself as to who you are and what is it exactly that you get up to.
Yes, of course. First of all, thanks for having me. Appreciate
Pleasure.
being here. And so what I do is I specifically work with the over 40s market. And what you will notice is a lot of times when you look around and you see people as they get to an older age, it's almost as this we accept in society that as you get older, you become more tired, more lethargic, you have more body ailments such as injuries or things like having sore knees, bad back, not being able to move as much, when actually this is incorrect and it's not true. So the kind of society that we live in isn't one necessarily, if we think about the Western world, isn't necessarily geared towards people's health in a natural way. Where actually people were more healthy in a natural way, and this is what I help them do. So I help them to have an exercise program, a nutrition program, a mindset program, and a recovery program that allows their body to be more energized. Because what this does is, like, for example, imagine if you work every day, Monday to Friday, and you're working, say, 12 hours a day. Most of the time, if you're going to follow a standard program, you're going to go to the gym for an hour's time. Most people don't have, if you've got, especially if you've got children, most people don't have the time to go and commit an hour to be going to the gym. But then you go to the gym, and then as well as that, you then end up doing exercises that aren't natural to the body. So maybe you're pumping weights of some kind. It's not something that we do naturally ever. You notice, yeah?
Yeah.
It's not the body can't move that way, but it's designed to be statically pushing and pulling back and forth, you see? So what happens is these exercises, they can help mold your body to some extent, yeah? And then the diet comes into play. So most people then start counting calories. Again, it's another job to do, isn't it? It's a huge job, right?
Of course.
But
But now with all these apps and everything, you just put in and it gives you a calculated amount of what you've eaten and what you should take in, what you should take out, all that kind of stuff. So it's good to be talking about all these things. But before we get into the deep end of fitness regimes and health regimes, I just want to take you a few years back into your childhood, you know, while we were growing up, and we
Yes.
see a lot of um, individual careers or a group of careers that we see in front of us, whether it's an architect, whether it's a lawyer, a doctor, a health fitness tutor, or
Mm.
whether it's a musician, whether it's an artist. What is it that inspired you that, okay, this is what I'm going to do when I grow up?
Mm.
Or this is what you were thinking the whole time, that I'm going to get into fitness and health and advise people, consult people in building a healthier lifestyle? Was it something totally different that you wanted to do? Or was it this, what you're doing today, was always on your mind from the start?
That's a brilliant question. Do you know, it's this, what I'm doing now. But I used to think that I had to do something else. So what happened was I started exercising from a young age, but then I stopped exercising. Got to about the age of 30, and I started to feel quite lethargic. And I was working in a job like everybody else. So I had a good career, I was in management, and I thought I was doing really well, but I started to get really tired. So I was making good money, but when it came to the weekend, going out with the children,
Yeah.
spending it and so forth, it was too tiring to do. I needed to rest to be able to go to work and work for the man, so to speak, and be slogging my guts out. So I didn't have the energy. So it made me a bit scared. I started to get a bit frightened because I was now in touch with my own mortality. And so I noticed that my waist was getting bigger. I had to start unbuttoning my jeans when I sat down to eat. So it started to bother me. So what I did is I then started to exercise off my own back, but I wasn't getting results. So I was doing
were you doing this at home, or were you doing this at a gym?
both. I started at home,
Okay.
then I joined the gym. So I was around other people. It's just a standard gym, and it was nice as well. I had all the machines there, and so I was training with the guys that were there. And what would happen is my body did change slightly. It's not that I didn't get any muscle, but I didn't have energy. I was more tired now. I felt actually knackered. It's probably the right word.
Of course, so coming from work and then family and then whatever you're dealing with, and then going to the gym and pushing weights and
exactly,
all that kind of stuff. I mean, firstly, where do you get the energy? Secondly, where do you find the energy?
Exactly.
to do all of that.
I was in a dilemma, right? So to cut a long story short, eventually I went to a mixed martial arts gym. This is when mixed martial arts was a brand new thing to the UK. Nobody really knew about it before the UFC days. And so I went to mixed martial arts gym and I started training with the guys there. And one of the coaches, I got speaking to him, and I found out a lot of the guys in there, a lot of them were my age, but they looked amazing, in great shape. And they go a lot longer than what I could. Now I thought I was in okay shape. I didn't think I was that bad. But so cut long story short, I asked him to coach me, and he took me through some exercises, things I've never done before, never seen in the gym before, and he taught me about nutrition. So then I started doing my own research and my own studying and so forth. I got in amazing shape. I ended up competing in the British Championships, grappling championships in the UK.
Wow.
I was 30, that's the kind of shape I got into. And I can't tell you how amazing I felt. Then what happened was I then decided that I wanted to pursue a career of being a presenter. So it's something that I loved doing. I was going around the country and I was speaking.
You mean a TV presenter?
No, seminar presenter.
Okay.
Seminars in hotels and so forth.
So
I was presenting and I loved doing it. But the hours are really unsociable. So what would happen is that sometimes I'm waking up at 6 a.m. to travel, to fly to somewhere else. By the time I finished in the evening, I'd usually do about 2 shows. By the time I finished in the evening, I was so tired I couldn't exercise. In fact, I just wanted to go sleep, wake up, travel again somewhere else the next day. So I would do this 3 or 4 days in a row. By the time I'm finished, I'd need 2 days just to recover.
So you did a job, you got into that job line, and then you couldn't find the time to go to the gym, but you did find the time to go to the gym, and then by that time you were tired. And then you got into mixed martial arts, you did that thing, you got into shape, you got into hosting seminars, and then you found yourself in the same dilemma again.
Exactly. Now I couldn't exercise because I didn't have the time, I didn't have the energy. And I was trained to be able to compete in the British Championships. I had to be training quite heavily. So I needed a way. And here's what happened. This is what really triggered it in my head. Was actually I realized that if I'm in a position where I can't exercise, then I'm not going to feel so good. And
Of
I
course.
know what exercise gives you. So I know actually being able to exercise, the feeling of happiness, because exercise releases serotonin, whereas things like, you know, foods and alcohol and narcotics and stuff, they release what's called dopamine, which is the
Okay.
pleasure syndrome. Now, we don't want that too much. We want serotonin, which is happiness, and that came from exercise. So I then, I'll continue the story. When I stopped being a presenter, I got offered a good position working in finance in the city.
Okay.
So I started working in the city, and these are 14 hours days that I'm doing. So I'm doing 14-hour days. It's a long day. It's really long. By the time I get home, nobody wants to train. So I need to devise a way that I could exercise in a short space of time, but it's really effective.
Okay.
So I did. And a lot of this was trial and error. This didn't come about overnight. It's actually from being in this industry for a period of 3 years, trying to figure out how I could exercise,
Okay.
stay in shape, and still have the energy to work. And
Okay.
I'll tell you what, once I did put it together, I've now devised a 20-minute exercise program that I do. It's 20 minutes maximum.
Just 20
Yeah?
minutes.
That's 20 minutes. I do this. And I do this almost every single day. And the only reason why I don't do it on some days is because I recognize, you know, it's good to rest, isn't it? You see? But otherwise, I don't need the rest. I could
Of
keep
course.
going,
Of course.
going, and going. So what would happen is I come home from work. I would normally, I wouldn't eat nothing straight away. I would normally sit down for about 30 minutes with like a cup of tea or something, just to relax, you know, and get changed. And then I would do this 20-minute workout and then feel really energized. Like so much energy, I couldn't believe it.
So
And it
what's
was
this 20-minute crash course gym exercise that you're doing right now?
right. So so a lot of times what you'll find people doing gyms is they'll go to the gym and they'll isolate their body parts for starters. So they'll, for example, say, I'm going to work on my back and my chest and my arms today. And
Yeah,
then
this I
next
used to
day,
get this. I used to get this from my friends a lot of time, you know. Today's chest day, today's leg day, today's arm day,
exactly.
today's biceps, today's triceps, you know, whatever it is. I mean, you go to the gym just to do one body part. I mean, what about the rest of it?
Right. And I understand that they're building a body. That's what they're thinking. But I wasn't looking at how do I build a body. I'm looking at how can I make my body function in such a way that I'm high energy, I feel good, and I'm in great shape. That's what I wanted to do. This was my desire more than
Of
anything
course,
else.
of course.
And I knew that actually, more than likely, with life, things weren't going to ease up. You know, especially where the world's going. People aren't going to
Uh,
start saying, work less hours, it's fine. We don't need you as much. Clients aren't going to say, it's okay, I don't need to speak to you as often, you see. But I still needed to go to exercise. So instead of isolating, where people isolate body parts and then they go on machines, and you've seen it, right? And they're on a bench press and it's
yep,
one
yep,
action
yep, yep,
pumping
yep,
up and down.
yep.
But let me ask you, when in life do you ever do that?
I mean, I rarely go to the gym, but I do go swimming. I love swimming.
Yeah,
So
but when
I
you
think,
pump, it's just the movement of pumping in life, not in the gym, but in life.
yeah, I mean, the only weight that I have to carry is
Yeah,
either carry my 3-year-old daughter when she's tired
yeah,
or the bags at the airport. I mean, what other weight do you carry? What other
exactly.
weight does anyone carry? Why do you need to press so hard and why do you need such big biceps and all that kind of stuff? I still don't get it. Maybe there is people, I mean, men, women, whoever they are, they like to look good. They like to make their
Mm.
body look good, whatever it is, good for you. But do you actually use it in real life?
Right. So in real life, a lot of times we don't use these things, you see.
Exactly.
So what we're doing is we're not using the body's own functionality in the way the body was designed to be used. So what I do is instead of isolating, I use whole body exercises. Everything that I do is I work the body as a complete unit. But I don't just work, for example, the body part, the physical body part. With it also, I use a mental exercise that goes with it, and I use a breath exercise that goes with it as well. It's started breathing when I'm training. So what I'm doing is I'm forcing the body within a short period of time to work quite intensely, where it starts forcing energy up and down the body.
So is it like a yoga come exercise module that you're
No,
sort
no,
of
it's not. It's not yoga.
okay. No, but I
It's not.
mean, not yoga completely, but the breathing mechanism, the mental
Yeah,
mechanism, and obviously making the exercise work all together with those two things. I think it's sort of a mix of yoga
yeah.
and exercise, obviously, mainly exercise. But yes, it's a good way to keep yourself because yes, you can do all the exercise, you can get that energy, but if you don't have the right state of mind or you can't breathe properly or you can't keep your body in the right shape, you know, it might not work for you. So this is what you do, and this is what I believe you consult other people as well in
Yeah.
terms of building the right mindset and keeping yourself healthy and fit. And
Yes.
you do it for individuals over the age of 40. Why not
Yes.
below the age of 40, or why not just, like youngsters? Because in the UK alone, youngsters have a huge issue with obesity, right? You go
Yes.
anywhere, I mean, obviously right now with TV, all you put on and you get is COVID, right? But
Mm.
when there were times when they used to talk about obesity in the country and all that kind of stuff. So why don't you, do you, actually, not why don't you, but do you have programs that are fit for maybe a 15-year-old, maybe a 20-year-old, maybe a 30-year-old, or do you just consult 40-year-olds and above to get their work-life balance? And also, obviously, as you're growing, your health is going down. So to
Mm.
keep all of those things balanced, is that why you consult only over the age of 40, or is there another reason?
That's a brilliant question. So it's more than just one part. First of all, because being over 40 myself and having had achieved this, I'm 45 now, and actually this discovery it's come to be more so in the last 5 years than any other time, because it was actually piecing it together. So knowing what I've taken from it and how much I've benefited, and then I see other men my age and they say things like, I don't know how you're able to do it. And it's because they don't know. That's all it is. They just
Mm.
don't know. So I could really help them so much. And those men, what they become is an example to the children most of the time. So my son's a good example, where my son is conscious of his health and fitness, and he's only 12 years old. So
And
therefore, he
he's learned that from you because you do it day in, day out. You're speaking
exactly,
about it. You're doing it in the house. So he's learning from you, and he's building that mindset that how dad's keeping fit, I need to do the same thing if I want to achieve certain things in life, certain goals in life. Maybe it's business, maybe it's property, maybe whatever it is he's planning to do. He has to have the right mindset, the right health to get out
yeah,
there and do it, right?
exactly. And if I don't do it myself, then to him it won't be seen as anything, because we learn by seeing more than anything else, by observing.
Of
And
course.
I look at his friends whose fathers don't exercise, and what they're like with their bodies and how they don't observe what they eat. They don't care, and they'll quite gladly. Kids will eat loads of junk, as you know.
No,
My
yeah.
son's no different. He's a
It's
child.
it's life, right?
Life, right?
That's the time you are supposed to eat junk, because once you hit 25, that's
Mm.
it. You're done.
Yeah,
All
that's
that
right.
junk is, I mean, still, you do enjoy junk. I mean, you have an ice cream, or you maybe have a McDonald's or whatever it is, but it's in variations or proportions that your body can take it in, rather
Mm.
than just stuffing yourself with junk food constantly and getting to nowhere. So,
Well, I'll tell you something interesting. This is what happened when people train with me,
yep.
is they start to not like that so much. So my son, like I say, his kids love junk food. The other day, I bought him Doritos. It was about 6 weeks ago. He said to me, "That's my favorite crisps,
Okay.
Doritos."
Okay.
I was in the shop, I bought him a pack of Doritos. When I came home, gave him Doritos, he said, "I don't want it. That's junk." Because, and yeah, and so it's quite a rarity to hear that, you think. But what happens is when you start exercising like this, your body starts to feel so good that actually you don't want to do anything to disrupt that. Instead, you want to support it.
Exactly.
So, like, even though it's only a 20-minute workout, just doing a 20-minute workout, what happens is you do everything to support that. So then when you're going to go and eat something, be it or drink a liquid or something or whatever it's going to be, you remember, actually, there's something that I do. I do this 20-minute workout. And so by the way, the workout's 20 minutes, but it's done to time as well, which is another thing. So therefore, because it's not something that you just do at your own pace,
Okay.
like a lot of workouts is you go to the gym, do the workout, when you finish, then you leave and that's it. If it took you an hour, it took you an hour. If it took you 2 hours, it took you 2 hours, but you've done the whole workout. Well, this isn't like that. This is 20 minutes. So you've got this amount of time to finish and complete it, which means that actually you're looking to get through it with a certain amount of intensity. Your diet will support that. So quite naturally, you'll develop a health consciousness that then you look at food differently, you see.
And you
So
and
look,
you obviously consult people in doing these 20-minute exercises, and
Yeah.
obviously having the right diet to sort of put up with the 20 minutes, because I'm sure these 20 minutes must be super intense. So you have to have the right diet to sort of push your body in a way where you can do that 20-minute intense exercise. So take me through it. I mean, what sort of exercise do you consult people, and what is this 20-minute regime that you go through every single day?
Okay, I'll tell you a good one that any of your viewers can follow. They need no equipment whatsoever. And this is one that I normally get people to do at the beginning when they first start, just to get their body used to it. Okay. And it depends on their fitness level. But here's a good example. What you would do is you just need a pull-up bar. A pull-up bar, you can pull up anywhere in the bar, whatever. And if you can't do a pull-up, all you do is you just hang for 5 seconds, yeah? But if you can do a pull-up, you do 5 pull-ups. And the way it works, it's 5, 10, 15. Okay. So you do 5 pull-ups, 10 push-ups, 15 squats. Okay. Now, you've got a minute to complete that exercise, those 3 exercises. Roughly, it takes about 45 seconds for someone to do, more or less. Right? Okay. Because you're just going back to back, 5, 10, 15. Once you've done that, the rest of the minute you rest. After that minute's over, you start again.
Ah, okay. So it's like a 10-minute crash regime with a 10-minute break, obviously spaced out between each exercise.
Well, the break that you take, so every minute you start again. Okay. So the break that you take is only the amount of time you have left. So what happens is as you get more in the program, say you might get to say by the 8th set, you might find actually, I can't finish the whole thing in 1 minute. You see? Okay. And that point there, you feel like you need to stop. That's fine, then you just stop. When you do it again the next day, and then you don't have to do it every single day. It's just that I train every single day, because what happens is eventually your energy is going to be so much that you want to do it. That's why I do it.
Of course.
But so let's say you did it 1 day on, 1 day off. So next day you have a break, the next day you do it again. Each time you're looking to try and get to that 15-minute segment, doing it within 15 minutes. So you're doing 15 sets within 15 minutes. That's all it is. But what happens is by the time you can finish that 15-minute segment, your body will change in such a way that you won't recognize it. Because your body will burn fat like a furnace because you're training it to. Remember, you're using the breath for this as well, yeah? There's one more thing I'm going to add to in a minute. But using the breath, that's making your energy move in such a way that your body starts to think, wait a minute, this guy might need to do some really intense work. We need to be ready at any minute. So what it does is your body craves the foods that you have. So if you sat down and you didn't do anything and you just ate, say, crisps on the couch, your body gets used to that and it craves that type of thing, that comfort kind of food. But if your body understands that it might need to move for a short period of 15, 20 minutes, what it will do, it will crave the food that actually fuels it, because it will see food as fuel. So your body won't want to drink Coca-Cola. It's going to want to drink water. Because why? Because the body's actually acting naturally as it should be. It's functioning correctly, right? The breath is a big part because oxygen heals everything. So you're passing oxygen so fast through your body, you start to clear stagnant energy points. So do you know, like, for example, you know, when it comes to, you know about things like chi, prana? You heard of that before?
No. Like
in yoga, they talk about it a lot. Chi, prana, that. And what it is like when you look at things like that, sorry, I just need to put the charger in. When you look at things like that, chi, prana, and the such, right? What happens is if you think about acupuncture, you know, they put needles in certain endpoints to release the energy. This is what you do in your body. And because you're doing this, you begin to release trauma. And trauma can become things that are stuck. So maybe you find, oh, do you know, I find I have a stiff hip or something. Someone finds that. A lot of times, what that is energy that's stuck. Because you're moving your body in this way so explosively, you're pushing the energy out. You're pushing out whatever's stuck, pushing out the trauma that's stuck.
So it's not technically an injury or something that that you feel is broken in the body or whatever. It's actually stuck energy that's
majority of the time.
That's moving around, and you're feeling that sort of trauma that's building up kind of into your body and releasing itself.
Yeah, it's releasing itself. It will just by itself. It will just go. This is why what happens is all you do is I say to people, don't think about the result. Forget the result. Commit to the process. If you commit to the process, as a byproduct, the result will just come. Absolutely. And then you'll wake up one day and you'll feel fantastic, and you'll be like, wow, I feel amazing. I want to run. You know, some mornings I wake up and I go into the park and I just run. And I can't tell you why, but I just feel so much like I want to move and like I want to run. I feel so energized, so fantastic.
Absolutely.
You know?
I'm
And this is
sure.
what,
I mean, that's what health and fitness is about, right? To get the energy into the body so that you keep fit, you keep fit for your family, you keep fit for your business, and you keep fit for yourself in terms of having a healthy, fit life, in terms of progressing to wherever you want to be, whether it's running a business, whether it's running a property portfolio, whatever you're doing, you have to keep fit to get that going, because health is wealth. That's what they say, right?
health is wealth. I was thinking the exact same thing.
That's what my parents always said. Like, if you have health, you will generate enormous amount of wealth. But if you don't have health, then how will you do it?
Well, also, if you think about us as human beings, we naturally are attracted to, when men are attracted to a woman or vice versa, we're actually attracted to what we see as somebody that can produce with us. So men, we look for women that look more their skin looks more radiant, attractive, that type of thing. Well, the most but it's true, the most attractive you can be is to be healthy.
Absolutely.
It's not makeup and all these other products. It's actually being healthy. And the same for men as well, just being healthy, feeling strong. There's something about the energy that attracts another in such a way as well. Same for connections as well. It's a really important thing. And the other thing I was going to add to this is also recovery. So recovery is important. You don't want to just keep working and not recovering. So an excellent way to recover is through having tepid baths or cold baths.
Cold baths.
Cold baths, yeah. It's amazing. It's amazing recovery. Now, for many people, they'll
in the winter.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you something interesting. It's interesting because it's the initial reaction is like, oh, that's going to be uncomfortable. But actually, it's only uncomfortable to the body that isn't able to cope with it. Because actually, normally, and I'll tell you what's worth looking at is, have you heard of Wim Hof, Iceman?
No.
Okay, well, he does a lot of cold therapy, but also the yogis.
Yes, Iceman. Yes. The guy who jumped into the Arctic Ocean or something. Yeah. I saw that. Yes, he was actually on what's that guy's name? Brian Rose.
Yes. London.
Absolutely, yes. I did see that. Now that I thought, when you said Iceman, I was thinking Avengers. Sorry.
Okay. And also yogis. So there's many yogis that do this as well. So and Tibetan monks. And these guys, they put them in cold temperatures where they just sat still, and their body with their mind is able to heat themselves up. And they put a wet blanket over them, and it would dry the blanket. Now we just think because we're accustomed to when it's cold, being cold, and we put on clothes and wrap ourselves up. But actually, if our body was efficiently using fuel in the way it should be, we wouldn't feel the cold in that same way. So actually,
I do buy that, because let's say when I've had to have a cold shower, when hot water is not there, or the boiler is not working, or something's gone wrong, and you have to have a shower, I'll go in there and I'll have a cold shower, and it's like you stand in the shower for like the first 2 seconds and you're like, shit, I can't do this. I can't get in there. But actually, when you stand in the shower for a minute, your body gets used to it.
Feels warmer, yeah.
Exactly. And then you want more cold water, colder than that, I guess, to get that going. But it's a good recovery process. I think people should try it. I mean, that is why I think that they do it with the footballers, because they ran for 90 minutes. And sometimes I've seen their dressing rooms, and they have those ice tubs and everything, and all they're doing is just going in there and jumping in there, because they have that recovery process for their muscles, their body, and everything that keeps them fit, I guess.
Well, but yeah, because footballers, when they're running so much, they get what's called microtrauma, so the muscles can tear, which is a normal part of actually muscles growing. They tear and they repair. But when you get in the cold, what it does is it sends the blood rushing up and down, and it's the blood that heals, rushing up and down. So when you get out of this cold bath, you feel fantastic. You feel energized again. So it all complements each other. So the whole workout, this is why the whole workout that I actually do takes 20 minutes, including the cold bath. the whole thing. This is why I never have a point where I could say, oh, I don't have time to do it. I've always got time to do it.
I mean,
You see?
if you've got 20 minutes to sit down and watch telly with a packet of Doritos, you've got 20 minutes
Exactly.
to sit down and go up and do your press ups and push ups and whatever.
Exactly.
Breathe well, keep fit, eat well, and then have a cold bath to recover yourself and do it all over again the next day. What an amazing conversation I've had with you in terms of building up a 20-minute regime, in terms of getting out there and keeping yourself fit. And anyone who wants to keep themselves fit, whether you're leading a really busy lifestyle in terms of work, in terms of building up your business, or even if it's a 9-to-5 job and you just want to keep fit, I would suggest to get in touch with Paul Almeida. Do check out his profile in terms of what he does and how he consults people and individuals over the age of 40 in terms of building a healthy lifestyle. So thank you so much, Paul, for coming on here. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Before you go, I do this with all my guests that come on here. It's been a year where people have had to work out from home most of the time, and people are posting videos about themselves on Instagram working out at home, whether it's with a gym ball or whether it's with the pull-up bar, whatever it is. But what positive advice would you like to share with the world today so that they can take that on board and move forward in life, whatever they're doing, whether it's exercising, whether it's business, whether it's eating healthy, whether it's breathing well, whatever it is, what positive advice would you like to share so that they can take that advice and apply it in their life and feel fit again?
Excellent. Well, the most important thing is to move. If you're not moving, move. Now, one of the biggest hindrances people have when it comes to anything is their thoughts. And their thoughts start to run wild and create things that don't exist. If that's the case, the best thing you can do, if for a lot of people they can't meditate during that time because their thoughts are running too wild, the best thing you can do is go outside and run. Even if it's a light jog, when the body's moving, the mind doesn't move so much, and it helps still the mind. That's the best thing you can do right now, because actually, if you change your body physiology, chemistry, the chemicals inside will change and the feelings that you have will change and you feel so much happier.
Super. Thank you so much for that advice. I think I'll apply it after I finish this live session.
Thank you.
But it's been a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much for coming on here and sharing that with us today, Paul. Take care, and I will see you soon.
You too. Thank you so much for having me.
Super, Paul. Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye.
Who runs his consultancy in terms of consulting the over 40s and keeping their health in a good shape, their body in a good shape, their mind in a good shape. Do check him out. His profile's Functional Fitness Over 40, where he will advise you in terms of what regimes or what 20-minute sort of exercise patterns that you need to go through in terms of keeping yourself fit. So thank you to Paul. Thank you to all the viewers that tuned in. It's been a pleasure. Whatever you're doing, it's the weekend. Enjoy staying at home, going out to the restaurant, whatever you're doing. Do well. Take care. Bye-bye.